It has been an interesting ride. Today, the Senate will take up its first vote on HR1, the For the People Act of 2021. Now, there will be arguments of saying, well, read the bill. It's all 800 pages. There will be those who take up the challenge of doing so. But for those who do not, let us at least take a quick look and gander. Why would anyone not want the people to vote? What is in this bill that is so dangerous? Well, it is stated as in three parts: voting, campaign finance, and ethics. There are those also, before we continue on, who might be afraid that this is only for, quote, for the blacks, if you're of that type of thinking. While it does address a voter suppression of different groups, what it does is expands voting to its farthest reaches, to the promise made and promise kept that we as free people shall rule ourselves. So let us begin. Let us see what those who fear, why do they fear? So, internet registration, automatic voter registration, same day voter registration, other initiatives promote the vote, annual reports, so you got to know what's, trust but verify, portability and correction, payments and grants. So we want to promote internet registration, automatically vote, promoting voter registration. So they want, so we want people to vote. Sounds good to me. Secondary school students, that's getting in the habit of voting, the habit of of understanding what's going on, prohibiting voter caging. In other words, bringing back, not just pushing people out for no reason in your vote. Paper ballots, and in this one, it's the paper ballots are actually made in America. Provisional ballots, early voting, voting by mail, which is a big one. Poll worker recruitment, promoting voter access. Election day is a public holiday. Voter notice, that way if they change your place of polling or in disaster, they have to give you notice. Election integrity, voting, restore the Voting Rights Act, which is the John Lewis Act. Big one, independent redistricting commissions. No more crazy gerrymandering that has a sliver of a street, so that way they can go get these hurting people. So that way we have to know our neighbors, not just the ones we like. Keeping voter purging from happening, which is going all throughout the country right now. Election security. So audits of election is all voting systems, security measures, infrastructure, promoting cybersecurity, preventing election hacking, security grants, use of voting machines manufactured in the U.S. It goes on and on and on. But here's the one that they're really, really. This is the pushback. Campaign finance, criminal penalties with bite. So no more foreign nationals screwing up our elections. What a thought. Campaign related disbursements. Where are you spending your money? Are you just pocketing the money? You know, disclosure of political community committees. Where's the money coming from? Online political advertising. That is one of the most important lines in this whole bill, and they're going to fight like heck to get that and others such as that removed. You mentioned public communication. How what is communication? Prohibiting deep fakes. All of this makes sense. Secret money transparency. This is if shareholders. So your corporation, if you're a corporation or you are a shareholder, even a very partial shareholder, you know where they're spending their money and who the management is trying to reach. If you're contractors, who's spending money to lobby? Where's this money coming from? Inaugural committees, because that's nothing more than a big spend thing, as we saw. Finance, small dollars back to the people instead of billions of dollars just to spend billions of dollars just to screw the people over and then keep them confused, keep us confused about what's going on. That has to stop. Small donor financing, removing big money from elections, or but if you're going to be there, we at least need to know who's speaking. Now, will they try to find some convoluted loophole? Of course they will. That's just the way money works. But we need to stop it, or at least start someplace. Now there's oversight. Well, for yeah, this thing is long. Back to the top. Oops. But it took a long time to read this. But it is one of the most sweeping changes in voter in returning power back to we the people, giving returning our right, our sovereign right as an individual, as a citizen. This is worth fighting for because if they weaken our ability to vote, then it weakens our ability to hold our politicians to account and to pull back our dear neighbors from the abyss. Everything in here, everything in this bill positively affects every American from every demographic, no matter where they live. If you're in the suburbs, if you're in the city, if you're in the country, if you have disabilities, if you're rich, if you're poor. This levels the playing field, at least for a short bit, because we know money's going to try to tilt it one way or the other. The vote will not succeed today, more than likely. What will happen is then the Senate will then try to mark it up and start trying to take out these especially important parts of transparency in voting. Big money is going after that part bigly, so to speak. And that, more than almost any other part, we must fight. So it expands the access to the vote and it limits big money influence on our vote. So our voice is finally heard again. Once this gets through, we now have leverage to demand what shall go into the infrastructure bill as opposed to something that's just here. Here's some crumbs for you. Aren't you tired of crumbs? We have the opportunity, once again, of 100 years. The opposition views it as a 100-year opportunity, but into a much darker place, filled with hubris and arrogance. We have the opportunity to remake this world once again, but in a way that brings power back to the average person so that we can just live our lives and do our best, however that may be. Get a fair shot at making a go of it. If you were to live to be 100 or so, and you were speaking with your grandchildren, and they'll ask, where were you this summer when, when the people regained the power back? What will be your answer? Much joy is come to us soon. But first, we'll be calm, but we will fight. This is our country. Every man, woman, and child that lives here, we are the guiding city on the hill of light. The world is watching. It is asking for us to stand. Will you heed that call?